I wanted to make sure that you were the first one to start the year off with me.
Oh.
Why? Hi, Karen.
Hi, Latoya.
I love you.
I love you too.
I
Thank you
love
so much for having me.
I love our relationship.
I do too.
I love how we stretch and pull and rub and stretch and pull and rub each other. I love that.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
One of the reasons why we're here today, that I'm excited about, is 2 years ago, 2019, I met you. And in our conversations, wait a minute, 2018.
2018.
All right. So 2018, I met you at this amazing event that Lisa Nichols give every year. Anybody that hears this, know about this, you should go every single year. The event itself is powerful as it is, but then when you get to walk away with friends, sisters, supporters, work affiliates, maybe business partners,
Absolutely.
that's amazing, right? So 2018, we met one another, and this have been, in terms of our relationship, one of the most stretched years that I've had in a long time. And when I say stretched, I mean from the inside out. In 2019, I published and authored my first book. And
can we see it, please?
Well, absolutely. That's number one. And that is, look, number two, hard copy.
Yes.
So, and you know what? I'm still getting used to that I am a published author. I'm getting used to
best-selling.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Just intake that, best-selling. Because it was a journey that day, and you know, because I was on the phone with you. And you was like, wait a minute. I was like, well, it didn't do this. And there's a whole formula to the process. And because who I am, I'm slow on the uptake, but when I got it, it's mine.
That's right.
And
that's right.
I remember I didn't do anything right in that book writing process. Not one thing. They said, do this, I did that. They said, do that, I did this.
That's right.
And so I didn't get the outcomes that everybody got that day. That was strategically done, but oh baby, I started sending out support to all of the sites, the child welfare sites across the country. And I'm gonna tell you, they poured in like crazy. I think I had like 1,300 people who viewed my book online and downloaded it. I was like,
yeah.
Right? So, and then when it said best-selling, I was like, oh my God. It wasn't day one, it wasn't day two, it's probably like day 4, but who cares?
That's right.
The fact is that people found the information and the content that I put in this book good enough to want to download it. And these are all of the people who I've worked for. So they know they know who I am, and they know what I'm about.
That's right.
So that was a blessing. But I want to back up because we met there. And I remember our first interaction. We were sitting outside, and there was a beautiful lady. I think her name was Butterfly.
That's right.
She sits in a group with me somewhere. So I know her name is Miss Butterfly. And I love Butterfly. So when she was like, oh, I'm Miss Butterfly, I was like, oh, and then she was like something about Flutter. And she had her little business thing and all of the things that I went to this conference to learn. She was already doing that on me at that point in time. And when I first met you, you said, I forgot what I said. You said, excuse me, can I pray for you? I was like, oh, Lord. What am I putting out there? This lady don't know me. Soon as she see me, she want to pray for me. And I think it was my knees. I think I said I couldn't go all the way out to the water because my knees was hurting something. Because you stopped right what you was doing. I forgot what you had in your hand. And you tried to put it down and I held it for you. And then you you just start touching my knees and my joints and praying and agree. And then, and she just prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed. And I was like, see, I'm a praying person. I do. I pray all the time and I believe in God. And so that was the first experience that we had.
Mm.
And then we stayed connected. We stayed connected. Right. And then I think after that, we got a room together 2 years, right? Because we stayed together twice. So we got 2 hotels at that same event, you guys. And what I recognize about this lady, after I finished my first book, she was like, oh, I don't think I'm doing this. I was like, you better write your book. Okay. How much you did with your book? Okay. How much you did? Because I already had that experience and I wanted her to have it because I loved her. And I was like, no, because she's so smart. And as she opened her mouth, and you can hear she's an intelligent woman. And see that, again, I'm slow on the uptake, but when I got it, it's mine, right? And so I was like, oh, she's so intelligent. I love the way she speaks. Your presence in the words you choose stands out for you with me, right? So
thank you.
You're welcome. That's important. That's important. I'm trying not to do the slang stuff because I can get back there real quick. And I'm trying to stay like focused. So as she did her book, and she created her book, and also, I'm sure #1 bestselling because she's amazing, and started doing her workshops. The next time, I think it was 2019, when I seen her, she didn't look the way she looked when I met her, right? Because I'm a big girl. And I looked at her and I was like, wait a minute, she lost so much weight. And at that time we was having lunch together. And I noticed how with the menu that we all had, you made a conscious decision to pick and choose which was healthier for you. I think you kept eating like some vegetable burgers or something. I was like,
yes,
I need some meat, right? I'm not messing with her, and some cheese. And you kept saying, well, I had to shift the way I eat. I had to shift the way I do this. I had to shift and shift. I was like, she's shifting for real. So then the second time we went back, she definitely didn't look like she did the first time. And then she came out and spoke at one of my conferences. And so I asked her, I said, would you coach me through this weight loss thing? Because that's what I seen it as, a weight loss, not a challenge, but an opportunity to lose weight. And what did you do so I could do what you did? But early on, the first conversations we had was talking about, this is what I know. She started off with prayer. So that should have told me where she was going to start off at, because that's where she started off, right? So that was our relationship. She started off praying for me and how we built a relationship. But then when I got involved in this, I just really wanted to lose weight. I'm like, oh man, tell me what you did, what you're not doing. I want to get that thing right there. So she said, okay, we're going to set up an appointment. And I'm thinking, that's my friend. Why I need an appointment? Like, honey, we need to set up an appointment and so right in the very beginning, because I'm very headstrong. I can be. And I'm a business and I'm a leader. I have a business and I'm a leader. So sometimes it's hard for me to walk the steps that everybody's take because I'm so used to lead my own way. So she said, well, we need the Bible first. And I was like, the Bible? I need a Bible for to lose weight. And she said, well, you have to shift the way you think, and you have to be in tune with your mind, your body, and your spirit, right? And I'm thinking, I am in tune. I don't know. She's talking about I have a relationship with God. I don't need to do all that part. So we had a meeting, and she said, okay, quiet, breathe. I remember this like yesterday. She said, I was like, hold up. And then she said, okay, now we can go. I just needed to pray and I needed to get centered. And what it allowed for me to do is to realize that I'm really not in control and that God is in control, right? And so yet and still, she gave me assignments that was biblical. And I needed to read the Bible. I needed to do this. And I didn't want to do that part. I didn't want to. I was like, no, I just want to lose weight. I don't want all of that extra stuff. Just tell me how you lost all that weight. Although I'm watching her on videos going ham. at the gym doing burpees, purpees, all them things. And I was like, look at this lady go. And she's going. So fast forward to maybe in the middle of last year. No, the year
2020.
The beginning of last year, I started walking.
Mhm.
And I started walking a mile a day, because I know what it takes, but I'm not consistent because I allow outside entities, which is my business and my mind, and I ain't got time and I'm tired and oh my God, not to help me do the work, right?
Mm.
But they're just excuses on not to be consistent.
Right.
So I did that walk for a mile for maybe like 6 months. I walked every morning for a mile in the cold, in the sun, in the heat, and all that based on where I live. And then I fell off. And so now, maybe 2 months ago, she and I was talking on the phone, a little more than 2 months ago, we were talking on the phone. And I said, I'm really interested in the shift and how she shifts her mind, her body, and her spirit. But what stood out for me the most, and then I'm gonna give you opportunity to talk about our meetings up front, and because you started off with God. Why did I think you wasn't gonna start off with God when it came to the workout part? Because that was my original connection with you. Again, right. I pray, but I'm not the one that will I am now. But I used to wouldn't be the one that just bust out and just start praying in front of everybody and all that. It was like a private thing. Yes. But it's not really a private thing. It's life. It's my connection. I believe that there's a God that saved me from pits of hell. You know, I kept trying to go back in there and he kept grabbing me.
That's right.
And when nobody pushing me there, I was going on my own willing. And he kept trying to grab me to the other side. But I also think that, so tell me a little bit about what you think about what I said thus far.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I remember it like it was yesterday, like you're saying yourself. And I do. We immediately, Latoya and I immediately connected. Our hearts connected really quickly. We challenged ourselves. We knew that we had some desires and some passions, and we knew that we wanted to get further than where we were. So we actually challenged ourselves. And you know how Latoya is talking about sometimes there's kicking and screaming when it comes to the spiritual or the biblical side, just because I know that's my side. Well, I have the kicking and the screaming on the opposite side. Like, it's time to move forward. It's time to write that book. So her book and my book were not written when we first met. I don't even know if we talked about writing a book. We just talked about going live. Right? We challenged ourselves with going live on Facebook. And then we turned around after that live and talked about, hey, let's be the ones who help each other, be that mentor for each other to propel each other to write that book. And so hers was done before mine, but seeing her move forward and saying, hey, let's do this book is what propelled me to go forward. But yes, it is really for me about that spiritual, that biblical component. So you are right on, my dear. You are right on. Go ahead.
I think that I remember one day and I said, well, what are you doing? You said, I'm gonna make a PDF or ebook or something you was doing. I was like, just write the whole book. You're so smart, right? Smarter than I could have ever imagined that I could be allowed to be back in those days, right? And just say, and you got this, because you read me a blurb of it. I was like, dang, my book don't sound like that.
That's right. That's right.
Remember that?
We were actually exchanging chapters that we had written. And it's funny because my book, if I was to think about it, and my book is called
The Shift,
right? So the reason why Latoya had said that I looked completely different is because I had taken this journey of really transforming my mind and my spirit, which ultimately led to my body. And so I knew for me, before the book was even written, you know, that I was doing a shift, that I was making a shift in my own life, and being able to share that with other people was what I desired to do. But I also knew my shift took place first in the spirit, because I had been trying this for years. I had been trying to lose weight and going up and down for years. But it was really about once I began shifting my mindset. That's what really began the shift for me. And it started with us meeting each other and actually being at Motivating the Masses and believing that I was so much more than how I was living. So it's been, our friendship has been
pushing
instrumental in my life. Yeah.
Pushing each other back and forth. So I hear some tapping over there. Are you bumping the table or?
I might be. So forgive me if I am.
Okay, scoot back because you don't want that on your audio.
Okay.
Okay. So let me
move this.
Yeah, me too.
Can you still hear the bumping?
Oh, no.
Okay, good.
You good. So 55 days ago was sitting in my room and I said, I am so tired. I suffer from my plumbing get locked up a lot. My internal plumbing, my pipes, my intestines lock up a lot because either one, I'm not drinking enough water. Two, I'm not eating enough fruits and vegetables. And three, sometimes I don't eat at all. Or when I do eat, I'm eating some pizza or something I shouldn't have no business eating all day, right? And I'm sitting. So I was in my office. It was right before symposium. It was right before symposium. And I just looked at those weights. I was like, because the older you get, gravity kicks in and your body takes a new shape. So I am the one that I'm really anal about how my butt looks. Because have you ever walk behind somebody and then it's just there, right? Or it went from plump to spread it. And so I wouldn't do anything else, but I would always do leg lifts just to make sure my butt stayed in shape, right? And I said, wow, if I'm worried that much about how I look from the back only, that's an issue. What about from the inside? And it was just a conversation I was having with myself because I do care. My life totally shifted after post-COVID. It just shifted to, I want to live healthy. I don't want to be stressed. I'm at that 50, I'm 53. So I guess that's the magic number for me.
That's the magic number, girl. Because I turned 50 when mine started.
I'm done. I'm just all of that. I ain't got time for it. I'm not scared to fire people anymore. I'm not gonna fire you. I'm gonna release you, but I'm not afraid of all those things anymore. Not that I'm scared, but I always have anxiety like, oh, they don't have a place to go. What I'm gonna do? You know what? You just do whatever you do, but you want me doing it here, right?
Right.
And so I've really learned how to take better care of myself. And so 55 days ago, I decided to purchase some spinach, kale, apple, banana, blueberry, and blackberries. And I put it all in a blender. And I was like, I'm just going for it. Boop. And so I think I was like a month or something in and I called Karen because I wanted to make sure that I got this before I tell her what I'm doing. All right. So I was like, guess what I've been doing? And I think I had like 30 some days, maybe. I was like, I've been juicing. And she was like, well, what are you juicing? Because now being who she is, she's going to try to stretch me to do something else. Right. So I probably was like 20 some days because then I went and got a good blender. So I called her up and I was like, what's a good blender? So she gave me some options. I had $70 in my pocket and I knew I couldn't get the base model, but I knew I needed to get a decent model. So then I was like, Karen, what's a good one? She said, it depends on what you want. She gave me some names. You can get the bullet, you can do this. And I had her on the phone for a while and then I hung up and then I went in there and I purchased myself a different type of blender, one that can really handle the capacity that I want. Because when you're chopping up frozen fruits and vegetables, they're harder than ice because it's food, right? So you have to get a 6-point blender or something different, right? So I had to make myself aware of what I'm looking for because anything I do, I'm slow on the uptake, but when I got it, it's mine. So I was like, I need to get this blender. And then I just started going to Food for Less and purchasing chopped kale, chopped baby spinach in bags. So I don't have to do all that washing with them. but definitely I get a pinch of spinach, a pinch of kale. I even, you've helped me to recognize how helpful almond milk and coconut milk. I can't do the celery, would drive me up the wall. Between them two, I can't do them two. Not yet anyway. I'm not there yet. I hope I don't have to get to celery. But you have been so instrumental because my weight has been an issue for me for a long time. I actually was going to get the weight loss program, and somebody kind of talked me out of it, which I'm glad, because I don't want the side effects it came with. So now for me, I'm enjoying this. I'm on the right medication for my arthritis, and so I'm not in pain anymore. And it's just amazing.
That's
so
awesome.
tell me what you think of this, and thank you so much
God.
for being instrumental.
Oh my God. I love hearing this, LaToya, because that's really what the shift is all about. It really is about empowering you. So you begin to make the choices for yourself. And she's honest and upfront about what she was saying in the beginning. I have been trying to lose this weight for years, right? I met her, if you heard her say, I met her in 2018, right? We began talking about weight loss even from back then. And then she began seeing my progress. And like she said, show me the quick fix, or not really the quick fix, right? But just show me what you did and I will do it. And that's the way most people will come to me. Show me what you did and I will do it. And I will show you what I did. I started with that word. And the reason why I started with the word is because that is what transforms our mind. It says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. First, our mind has to be renewed. So we're not thinking it's going to be, oh, let me just stop eating this, or let me start eating this, or let me start exercising this way. Because you also heard her say that for 6 months, she walked. But at some point, life got in her way and she stopped, right? But just because she was focused on what she was doing as far as her career, as far as her job, as far as her family, right? All of those things has a place in her life as well, but they were mandatory. They were her priority. And most of the times that's what we do. We put ourselves in the background, right? But as she began to make a shift, she began shifting in other areas of her life. Like, I am not going to spend all my life doing all of this work and do all the administrative work as well. What's the person who's helping you do the administrative? Even right now, I'm gonna shout him out.
Bratty boy.
Bratty boy, Bratty boy is off the chain. Now, I've been doing symposiums with LaToya. Hey, there you go. Hey, thanks so much, Bratty. We appreciate you. Do an amazing job. Thank you so much. But these were things that LaToya was doing on her own, right? So she was managing 100 different things at the same time. And she said, I'm gonna use her word that she used. It was my excuse. And her excuse at that time was, if I don't do it, who's gonna do it? So she was making flyers, she was running the event, she was hosting the event, but then she was also administering the event, she was planning the event, she was doing everything. And what happened is she began to release some of those things. And as she released it, there was a level of freedom, a shift was happening in her. So, right, whatever weight that she was holding on to or not releasing, or mindsets that she was holding on to, as she began to release it, she began releasing the weight. So that's what's happening. She's finding her own shift in herself that's working for her. I started doing juicing. I started doing walking, and I am enjoying what it is that I'm doing. And this is her shift. This is her shift. And it's beautiful. I applaud you. I applaud.
Thank you.
It's really about you being empowered to make a shift by yourself. But I really see that what happens for most people is it's allowing the spirit within them to truly begin to speak to them, God's spirit within you, to begin to speak to you about who you are, your identity. Your identity is not in what you have.
That's right.
not in what things happened to you in your past, because we also went through talked a lot about, abusive relationships, and me being in abusive relationships as well. My son being a single mom, and releasing all of that and just really letting go to know that we have a life outside of our family, outside of our jobs, outside of it. And so as we begin to make ourselves a priority, we can truly begin to see a shift. And the priority that happens also is that we give ourselves permission to live our best lives, which also causes the family around us and the community around us to live your best lives. I even think about what your daughter is doing now. She wasn't doing that before, having her own business and doing what it is that she's doing all the way out where she lives. And so I am just amazed that when people really discover who they are and their identity in God, their identity in Christ, and allowing Him to love them, right? Because that's really what you're feeling, is that self-love, would you say?
I would, and I want to go back a little bit. You named all of the people in the world that we're connected to. I want to say our stuff, because I'm connected to my stuff, all of my stuff. And I mean, all of my stuff, down to my ink pens. Don't touch this. That's mine. Leave it alone. Don't.
I love it.
And I'm in a place where I'm releasing things, right? Like this weekend, I got up yesterday at 2:00 in the morning, and I stayed in my garage for hours, dumping stuff, putting stuff in the trash, just stuff that I would normally keep because my weight fluctuates up and down, up and down. And so I got suits from a size 20 down to size 12. I just got rid of all that stuff. Like, I'll get something else. You know what I'm saying? Just really, really releasing things is where I am today in my life. That shift began because the word shift made sense when I think of a word. Let's shift your car, go in gear, all that. Yeah, fine. But when I started befriending you, and as you was coming abroad in your brand, I see the shift differently because I see it in you. That makes sense?
Wow.
I see it in you. I see, I've watched you go from this state to that state. I'm going to do this. I don't know. I'm going in. Leave me alone right now. I'm going over here. I'm trying this. Leave me alone right now. I'm going in. I'm doing this. I'm going in, right? And so that allows me to also watch your shift. And the part that really made more sense to me is because of my mindset, because of me being a trailblazer, I'm hard-headed sometimes. And it was really challenging for me to do it the way you suggested. You suggested it that way for a reason. And so when I got choices, give me some choices. Let me pick what I want to pick. And when I got choices, I've been on and running ever since. That I don't have to start right here. I can start over there. You better not forget this part, because God must come before everything. I don't. It may not, I don't serve the way you serve, but I serve.
That's right.
And so now that I realize that I don't have to serve the way you serve in order to have the shift in my life, I've been on this journey and I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
It's beautiful. And that's really what it's all about. I tell people, I am just the conduit. He is the shifter. He is the transformer. So however way he wants to do it in people's life is how he does it. Yes. And he won't share his glory with anybody, and nor do I want him to. I just want to see people get that shift. And I know that he is the shifter. And so it's beautiful to hear you get to share your story about how you're shifting, but how also it's been a journey, right? It was not a quick fix, right?
No, this eat some vegetables and you're done. No.
Nope. And you're constantly shifting. I'm still, even today, constantly shifting, right? Some changes, some challenges, some ups, some downs, some ebbs and flows. And that's how life is. Yeah. I guess also for me, one of the things that I've learned in doing this shift for myself when it started in my life was God just began giving me different techniques. That's what this book is all about, is different techniques that he can give you that's going to help you to release those stored up emotions, that lack of motivation, that disappointments, those hurts, those pains, whatever that causes you to be stuck for years. That's where I was. I was stuck for years, lost my mom, left to raise a son on my own. I feel like I'm abandoned. Then I send my son off to college, and I no longer have my life to revolve around him. Like he is the earth, and I am just revolving myself around him. And now when he's gone, and I think that's happened for a lot of people. It's a lot of people who are dealing, a lot of mothers and a lot of fathers, just people in life who revolve their life specifically. Okay. There might be somebody watching right now. May I, Latoya? There might be somebody watching right now who might have been revolving their life around a place that they were as an athlete. You revolved your life around being this football star or this basketball star. And now you are no longer that in your life. You no longer play ball. You are no longer that athlete. And you're wondering, who am I today? Who am I today? What is it that I have to contribute to life today? And I just want to say that you are not what you had or what you were or what you did, that your identity does not lie in that you are created with a purpose, and God does have something for you to do. And maybe it still will be connected to that passion of sports that you love. But allow yourself the freedom to take a journey for discovering those things that you do love to do, those places that you can go, people that you can meet. Allow yourself freedom to know that you're not your past, okay? You're not the fact that you don't play ball anymore, that there is life after basketball, football. So thank you so much for allowing me to share that.
You're welcome. You said basketball, but the tape I played in my head, July this year, the work that I've done for many, many years, I was told that, they want my services, but they're not willing to financially compensate me.
Ching, ching.
Yes. You're good at what you do, but I can't pay you right now.
Right.
But everybody at the table is getting paid, right?
That's right.
And
right.
I was really hurt. That's the truth of it is I was hurt because when you have a business, you don't only think about your life, but you think about the life of your employees and everybody.
That's right. That's right.
So at that point, I was like, oh man, that's crazy. But what it did was it shifted my thinking to, I can't do this to, I better figure it out. Right. And I do that in a lot of areas, but that one area was grant writing, and I was afraid of it because of me not learning how to read and spell till I was 29. But I had to shift the way I looked at writing a grant, and I got approved. And it's like, oh my God, ain't no stopping me now. Woo! I'm on the move. Yeah.
Yes.
But it's always shifting. Like my life is completely shifting around. And now that I know what I know, I'll never let anything stop me again. I'm the kind of I don't, how do I say this nicely? I don't want to be locked down. I don't want to not be able to do stuff because it makes me feel like a box, like when I was being abused, stuck with sheets and, held down under the cover. And that's how I feel when it's something that I can't do. I feel like I can't do this. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I get that. I feel that in the inside, although it's not being conveyed. I'm learning how to work through that as well. Shifting that thought process. There's some things that I don't need to do because it takes away my good time that I could be doing something else.
That's right.
So just really releasing and shifting things in my life. And I want to say thank you because you were definitely an influence to doing so. You were influenced. I watched you go. I'm like, that's how I started writing a book with a friend, Margaret. She came out and did this whole workshop, just she and I in a room crying, all the things. We worked it out. But when I started going back and forth to those conferences, and I had women that we were talking last time, and we're looking at these people with Oz. And when I go back, she got 2, 3, 4 books and she making $1 million a year. I was like, over my dead body.
Yes.
Shoot. Especially when people don't have a business at all. They don't have anything at all but history, knowledge. I got a business, knowledge, all this stuff. Why are you doing that? And I'm still right here. Because I had to shift my mind on how to keep moving forward and stop getting stuck, right?
That's right.
Stop getting stuck. So, Karen, how can people find you? How can people tap into the shift that made a change in my life?
They can definitely reach me online, right? I can certainly share my handles with you, my Facebook handle and my Instagram handle. And what I normally do there is make sure I put inspiring videos up there, just information and knowledge that people maybe sometimes don't know. Yesterday I was talking about working out, and when you're doing a workout, how to squeeze your different muscles that you're working out to even get more of an intense workout. Granted, not everybody's in the same place. So I also encourage you to start where you are. You might want to start with some of the high intense, as Latoya said, the burpees and the whorpees. That may not be where you are, but you got to also talk about celebrating every small win. So we talk about that. I'll give Latoya my handles to make sure you can get a hold of me. You can also access me on my website, www.knx1.com. I'll give that to Latoya as well. And then you can DM me, right? DM me, send me a direct message. We have some shift programs starting. I do workshops where you're able to come in and we're going to talk about those 9 different techniques. That breathing, that meditation, what does it look like? What does it look like for you? Where are you in your health and wellness journey? What are your goals and your aspirations? How can you come alongside a sisterhood? Or even now we're doing couples, Latoya, we're doing couples.
That's right. You know what? That's amazing you said that, because since I've been juicing, my team in the office, all but Brady boy, but my team in the office.
Come on, Brady boy, get on board.
Get on board. That's right. He don't like green stuff, but if I make it a little red, like I did one day, he didn't notice it was in there. So when I'm giving it to him, I got to make sure it don't look so green. He might drink it. But I've noticed even with my husband. So this week, what I've done was I started prepping, at home for him, because normally I would make them at home, but I'm not at home. So that means all last week he didn't get them because now he's not in the office anymore. So yesterday I chopped up all of my vegetables, put them in one Ziploc bag, put them in the freezer. And I told him just what to do. Throw that in that blender, baby, put it up. And so this morning, because I like to give them to my grandchildren and my son. So this morning at 6 o'clock, I would have my blender rolling and we was doing our thing. Everybody got their drink before we walked out the door. Boom, done. Right. So that prep work is, because I was like, I don't feel like doing this every day. Well, you don't have to. Find a day in the week. I prep for the office on Saturday and I prep for my home on Sunday. So 2 hours at the max, I can make sure my entire family and my entire team is taken care of, right? And when you look at the price of fruits and vegetables, it's very expensive. It is. But how much are you worth? Right? How much are you worth? Not only, don't say nothing, because I see your mouth get ready to talk crazy.
I'm getting ready to say, you can pay now,
or you can
pay later. You can pay now with making sure that you get the healthiest foods in your body. That's right. Or you can pay later by eating that junk food and having to deal with doctors and medications and disease. And you have an opportunity to make a change now in your body. Do you hear how boldly that she is speaking? Do you hear the words? Do you hear the words that are coming out of her mouth? Each one, reach one, teach one. This is a very powerful powerful thing. It's a very powerful thing, because she is saying now that she is educating her staff, she is educating her family, she is educating her husband. We as Americans are taking our life back. We are the unhealthiest nation,
Yes.
right?
Uh,
And as we begin to learn the fruits and the vegetables and are the healing components, right? The God's candy, God's food, right? When we begin to learn that, we become empowerment for ourselves, and we then turn around and each one, reach one, teach one. So go ahead and
So,
teach.
okay, so I want to say this about the fruits and vegetables. So I know I only got a little bit more time, but I want to cover this. So, okay, so I shop at Food for Less, and there's like a large cart of strawberries. It's like $6.99. I go now to the 99-cent store and get them for $3.99. Wash them, clean them, stick them in a bag, and freeze them. And it's just as good. It's just as good. I got my blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. I mean, I find more things at Food for Less altogether, but I try to go to the 99-cent store to get what I can get for a reasonable price. If I go and spend $20 a week, I can be healthy, right? That's like eating, because you can get 2 cheeseburgers. That's $20 a meal, 2 days, versus going to the store and getting that was healthy, because it's the gut that has so many issues. I noticed right away, like month 1, that all of the bloatiness in my stomach was going down from the kale and the spinach. I was like, wait a minute, don't get the hourglass back now, honey. Hey. And
Yeah.
so it's been an amazing journey. And I want to say, Karen, I so appreciate your influence, right? You're an influencer on a much deeper level than you can ever imagine, right? Because I watch you go from looking like me to looking like that. And it's
I love it.
amazing. So
I love it.
even when you're eating out and you feel like, I'm not going to Trader Joe's, because some people go way over there, and that's fine, whatever works. I'm not there yet. Maybe it will be a day when I go to Trader Joe's. It's just not today.
Right.
However, even when I go out, I think I was sharing this with Karen. I was like, I went to the store to a restaurant to get something. And then I started looking at everything. I was like, dang on Karen, here she goes. She's not even with me right now, but
That's the
but
Holy Spirit.
it's the shifting. It's the shift in the mindset.
That's right.
And I'm one of the ones that say, if you tell me, if I see it, I believe it. I gotta see it to believe it. And
Yes.
I see it in you. I see your shift. I appreciate your shift. I know that God is not done with you, nor is he done with me. And what would you tell my kids? I'm gonna give you the last minute to say whatever you want to say, not to my kids, to my guests. What would you like to say to my guests?
You are capable of making a shift. You are capable of making a shift. Latoya, she sent me a message the other day, and what she said in it was, Karen, thank you so much for helping me to realize that this whole transformation wasn't about a weight loss program. It's not. It really is not about a weight loss program. It is really about shifting our mindsets, really beginning to think differently about who we are, how we see ourselves, what we say to ourselves, letting go of those things that have happened in our past. It really is about slowly letting it go and knowing that it is possible, right? It's like we just spoke about, it is not a quick fix. It's a lifelong journey. You're going to be on this journey for life anyways. Your minds will start making strides, small, tiny strides towards a healthier, better you. And you celebrate every win. You celebrate every step. You see, as Latoya and I would begin to make those small changes, we would celebrate every step of the way. So that's what I want to share with your guests, is to make sure that they know, believe in yourself, give yourself permission, at all costs choose you, take the step, and celebrate, and surround yourself with people who want what you want. You can be sometimes in a place where you want to go forward, and then you got the crabs who are trying to pull you back down just simply because they're not in that place. So you got to begin to focus and allow other people to come into your life and cheer you on, like I cheer LaToya on. Good job, LaToya. And myself on. Good job, Karen. Learn to be your biggest encourager.
So let me say this. I remember one time you came down and we did a whole video, worked out. It was fun.
I remember that.
Yeah, we recorded it. Yeah, we had the camera guy in here hooking us up while we was recording it. And you know, my body don't look like that anymore.
It does not. It does not. Beautiful. She's doing a beautiful job. Congratulations.
Thank you, and congratulations to you. I appreciate
so much.
you, and thank you for being a friend.
Yes, absolutely. 10-week workshops called The Shift. 10-week workshops where you are working on changing your mind, your body, and your spirit. You're bringing it into alignment with a group of women or a group of couples where you can make that shift.
So what about people like me that don't have a schedule for the group setting? Is there like some individual things that you could do with me?
Absolutely, absolutely. And what I'm also finding out, so I do one-on-one coaching as well, one-on-one coaching. I'm even breaking it down so we don't necessarily do the 10-week, because some people are not, they just don't have the time to do the 10 weeks. Some people don't even want to, like you in the beginning, when we say, hey, I don't even want to do, you know, the whole coaching thing. I don't need that part. Just tell me what to eat and tell me how to move. Well, shoot, that's a stream of income for me. Let me tell you how to eat and how to move and still get to that place that you desire to get to, if you know that you're not hung up anywhere, right? We talk about moving the body, we talk about breathing, we talk about meal prepping. That might be all that you need, so you can get that from me as well.
So you're gonna teach me how to meal prep, which was in the beginning when I first started a couple years ago. I bought the couple years ago I bought the trays at Costco because they look cute, right? I'm gonna meal prep. It's gonna be amazing, and that did not work for me because I didn't take the time to really think it through. I'm one of those ones. I'm going to the gym. I'm about me 7 new outfits to go to the gym, and I never make it to the gym. Right? that would be me. So even if you have to start off meal prepping with just a small saucer, I don't even eat out of a large plate anymore.
That's awesome.
My plate is a saucer. And guess what? Because my plate is a saucer,
everybody's plate is a saucer.
Everybody's plate is a saucer.
And let me tell you how that goes along with what it is that why LaToya can do a saucer. I want everybody who is watching this now to make a fist. Make a fist. Okay. Take a look at the fist. See it from every angle. This is how big your stomach is.
Oh, that's how it's supposed to be.
That's the size it is, right? Right. But what we do, so if you were to take that and put it on a plate, right? This is how much food should be able to fill your stomach, right? This is how much food, if you think about putting this on a plate, you could fit this on a saucer. But what a lot of people do is they get a big plate and then they fill it, and then our stomach stretches. And then we stretch and we don't know why we do. Right? And so that's something that you can begin to think of right now. Small beginnings, right? Do not despise the small beginnings, because God celebrates the fact that you're starting. So let me just give you a small beginning right now. I didn't say change your diet. I didn't say go buy juice. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying put this fist in your hand and think about putting that, starting with this. Can we begin to consume foods at this level first and foremost? And that's really what the shift is all about. Making small, tiny steps, tiny shifts that you are able to sustain. So you don't feel like, oh my God, she's telling me to do this, and all at the same time. Nope, that's not what I asked you to do. You take the small step, you celebrate it, do it for 2 weeks or 21 days.
Mm.
And once that becomes a habit, add something else. And the new
Mhm.
thing that you can add is maybe you're taking out sodas and you're adding in water.
Mm.
Small beginnings,
Choices.
choices.
Because the first one is the meal prep with the snacks. Then you can choose to drink more water. You could choose to use the saucer. But it's so okay. So my husband has a tummy, right?
Mhm.
And when I make the plates, because now that we're both doing because the saucers are there and we're eating smaller portions, I put something on his plate last night. He's like, wait, that's too much because I'm about to lay down. I'm like, all right, good looking. So
Self-awareness.
it's definitely shifting his awareness as to I don't need to eat as much because I'm a female. You get your husband, you pile all that food up, and they normally eat that. But what happens is when they're not moving it, it sends in the midsection, and that's where he was. And so he told me like 2 weeks ago. He said, "Hey, my stomach going down too." I was like, all right. And then before closing, I want to say this one thing. I love Steve Harvey to death. And a couple of days ago, I was listening to one of his videos, and he talked about how he and his wife tried all of these different remedies to get their bodies back in shape. And one of the things he said, they came up with this magic potion. I'm just calling it that. I don't know the name of it, but it was with everything that we're doing every single day.
Mm.
And it's in a pill. And I was like, look at God, because now I'm on this journey, and now here he is. He's doing it, and his wife's doing it, and he's lost all of this stomach action. But what it's doing is it's tapping into those cells in your stomach. It's tapping into those cells in your body. And so you don't think about that when you eat spinach and kale, right? Pineapples,
Right.
blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. You don't think about that. So I just wanted to cover that. And you're in a good place.
Mm.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys for listening. You could join another call, because I'm sure I'm gonna have Miss Karen on again, probably 2 more times this year, just to make sure that you guys can keep up with me on my journey. And I'm gonna allow her to continue to coach me. Now, I don't know about celery, Karen. I love you.
You don't even taste the celery.
I do. But and that's one of the good, and I'm fussing at Brad, like, just go ahead and drink it. You can't taste greens. Well, I can't say that because he might taste the greens, and I know I taste the celery. So
Yes.
I don't know how to hide that taste. Maybe you could give me a clue, because right between that and coconut water, not happening. But everything else I can do.
Well, what it's a journey, right? You're going to discover the benefits of it, and then you're going to go, I'll try it. The same way everybody does, right? The same thing way you just said, Karen, ain't nobody doing all this in the beginning when you very first started juicing.
That's my pushback.
I made a suggestion for fresh juice. This is where we started. This is where Latoya started, if I remember correctly. Why don't you try juicing? I juice. What do you juice? What kind of juice are you? I'm drinking a V8. I said, Latoya, do you know what's in a V8?
That was an assignment.
Yeah. She said, no. And I said, why don't you do this?
I said vegetables.
Vegetables. That's right. She said vegetables. It's just quick and easy. I take it in the morning. I take it before I go to work. I said, why don't you take a look and see what's in a V8?
Sure did.
Right? It's in a can. How long has it been in a can? I have no idea. What really is in those fruits and vegetables? I don't really know. What fruits and vegetables? I don't really know. But you can go look at the label and read it. That's one of the things we do in the shift. Is this year we're reading labels because people just don't know. And so that was Latoya's. I didn't hear back from her until she told me that she was juicing. Now I immediately went online for myself, went to my Facebook fam, and I started talking to them about what's in a V8. Let's talk about this, because a lot of people don't know. They just go with what people say to go with because it's what they know.
No, we go with the commercial. Did you see that?
We go with the commercial, which is what people tell us to go with, right? Yeah,
Woo!
that's it. But when
This-
you begin to know for yourself that empowerment that she is feeling right now, that energy, that excitement, it can't be beat. Nobody can
So-
take that away from her.
I am going to throw myself under the boat and I'm dragging you with me.
Let's go.
So
Let's
can
go.
we have this conversation in June and see where I am? And then again
Absolutely.
in December?
Yes, I would love that.
All right. Well, Miss Karen, I love you. I appreciate you guys. Stay tuned. Follow Karen. You'll get all of the information and follow Karen and definitely come back for this conversation in June. You guys pray for me. Because I'm
Pray for me
praying for
too.
you. I'm praying for you, Karen. I'm praying
Praying
for
for
all
you
of those
too.
listeners out there. Because once you start to shift your mind, everything else changes. And let me tell you, I know how to shift minds when it comes to my business. Now it's time to shift minds when it comes to my body, right? So they can be in one accord. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Latoya Conway Hampton, and I am your host. Thank you.
Hey.